So moving on to trademarks. Trademarks are a sign which can be represented graphically, which is capable of distinguishing your goods and services from that of another business. So trademarks distinguish your business and also protect your brand and add value. Trademarks can be words, including names, designs, letters, numerals, and trademarks can also cover the shape of the goods or packaging, and so on. For example, Coca-Cola has a trademark in the name and artistic graphic Coca-Cola, and also in the shape of its bottle. Trademarks must be distinctive, that is, they must be different to existing trademarks, and you can check this by searching existing trademark databases before you decide on your trademark. Trademarks cannot be descriptive or customary in the line of business. So for example, a cleaning product called Super Clean would not be eligible to be a trademark because it is merely descriptive of the product that it relates to. It's also worth noting that trademarks cannot be misleading. So for example, you can't include the word organic in your trademark if your product isn't organic. How do you get a trademark? Well, you can register a trademark with the Intellectual Property Office in the UK. Once you've registered the trademark, if you want, you can put the trademark registered symbol next to it, which is the R in a circle. You don't have to do this, but it notifies other people that you have a registered trademark in that artistic work. However, be careful that you don't put this R in a circle next to your trademark if it's not registered, as this is a criminal offence. You can register your trademark at any time, provided that someone else has not already registered the same mark. Registered trademarks give you much greater protection than unregistered trademarks. However, unregistered trademarks do arise automatically when you create the trademark. Unregistered trademarks are denoted by the letters TM next to a mark, and this puts other people on notice that you are claiming an unregistered trademark in that logo. Again, you don't have to do it, but it can help. As I've said, this type of mark arises automatically, so there's no need to register it, but it does give you a much narrower protection, and I'll come on to talk about this in a second. So what can trademarks stop? Registered trademarks can stop the use of your brand without your permission, including counterfeits. More specifically, a registered trademark can stop others using an identical sign in relation to similar goods or services. So, for example, the name Mars in relation to a chocolate bar. They can also stop a similar sign in relation to identical or similar goods and services. So, for example, Mars spelt with a Z, or Mars-E with Mars having two E's on the end, in relation to coffee products, for example. Finally, you can also stop another party using an identical sign to yours, which takes unfair advantage of or is detrimental to the distinctive character and reputation of your mark. For example, using the trademark Mars in relation to vacuum cleaners. If you haven't registered your trademark and a third party is using an identical or similar mark, you do still have a means of protection. This is through a court action for an action known as passing off. To be successful for this, you will need to prove that you have built up a reputation and goodwill in that mark. You will also need to prove that there has been a misrepresentation, whether intentional or not, by the third party to the public, so that the public believe that the goods and services of the third party are in fact yours. To do this, it can help to show a connection between the goods and services of you and the third party. You will also need to show that you have been in some way harmed by the other person using that mark. For example, economic loss through loss of sales. Trademarks are owned by the applicant in the case of registered trademarks, or the user with reputation in the case of unregistered marks. There's no real limit to the amount of time that you can have a registered trademark, but it does have to be renewed every 10 years after you register it. In terms of unregistered trademarks, again, there's no real limit on the duration, as they only really arise in relation to passing off claims. So to summarise, trademarks are a sign that identify your business from that of others, for example Coca-Cola, Mars, and so on. Registered trademarks can stop others using identical or similar signs for identical or similar goods and services, which lead to consumer confusion. And you can also prevent others from taking unfair advantage of the distinctive character or reputation of your mark. With unregistered marks, you can only stop someone using a mark that is identical or similar to yours if you can show that you've built up a reputation, that there has been a misrepresentation by the third party, and that you'll be harmed by the third party's use of that mark.